I'm going to open this up to discussion also to the panel for their take on what Dan is saying. Eric?
Dan is brilliant. I love listening to anything Dan says, and I know he stayed in Washington to avoid breakfast with me today. It comes down to this, I think, in its most fundamental form. It is the economy, stupid. It's the economy. It's all we care about. There's so many big issues out there. All people care about is their mortgages and filling up their gas tank and the fact that the economy is lousy. History taught us that, like Dan said, with Bush Sr. The only problem is who are the Republicans going to put up?
What to his point about the media being in sync with Obama, mainstream media?
That's Dan's biased point of view.
That's what I'm saying. My point is, what do you say to that? Because there are those who really believe that the mainstream media does not want Obama to appear as though he's failing, that they're invested in making sure his presidency succeeds.
Look, there's plenty of people that are watching this network that would say something very different about Fox. I think that it is true that there's bias in the media. I think there's been bias in the media for as long as I've been alive. And I think in some cases he does get a free or lighter pass as a result of it. But I think that that's been going on all throughout history.
Well, I guess on one hand, but we're playing for really high stakes right now. And I feel like the media, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, just doing their job, calling him on something basic like the unemployment number. Why not call him on it and say what happened and what are you going to do about it, and just say it didn't happen the way you'd hoped it was going to happen. Are you upset? Are you frustrated? What are you going to do to turn things around? I mean, what do you think about that?
The mainstream media, they are kind to President Obama, and and it's sort of easy to be kind to him in a way because he plays the media
You're saying that in a kind way to me too.
Yes, but it's just like getting back to the two biggest winners, Michelle Bachmann and Mitt Romney, and they talked about the economy the best. They really were able to grasp the issue, and they were strong about it. And the two biggest losers, I think, were Gingrich and Pawlenty, because they didn't address it very well at all.
Well, I was kind of expecting Gingrich to be, but Pawlenty, I think, I don't know what in the world that was all about last night.
No, really.
Yeah, well, that Dan would say that is the exact spirit that should exist in Washington, D.C. He'd like to see Obama do well, even if it meant the right lost the White House. That's what we should all be thinking. I'm not saying, I don't care who has the best answer. I know we have a lot of lousy answers now, and I know the numbers stink right now, and I do believe that that is a big problem for my party. And if there's a Republican out there who has a better idea, I'd love to hear it, and I would consider changing my vote. We need to do something in the economy.
Well, we're trillions of dollars in debt, and now we're talking about maybe another stimulus. The stimulus was supposed to work. It didn't. It didn't create the jobs. Everyone is hurting. Everyone is worried, and if Obama does not do something, he's going to lose.
In terms of the stimulus, bringing that issue has not been raised of late, in terms of saying how the stimulus in and of itself just did not work. Its impact minimal at best. And also about Obamacare, the impact Obamacare is going to have on states in terms of how much money they're going to have to spend, and how states are running out of resources as well, and just the realities of what's going on today, and holding people accountable for this. What do you say to that?
Well, Obama raised the stimulus issue poorly yesterday. He made a joke about it. He said some of our shovel-ready projects weren't all that shovel-ready.
That's right.
I mean, if I'm sitting at home unemployed, I don't care what political party I was thinking about voting for. I'm voting for the other one. When the president makes a joke about my hardship, that's just inexcusable. And the truth is, we threw money down the drain for a lot of the stimulus projects. A lot of them were just pretty much pork. And here we are.
We were arguing about all that, exactly. I mean, Eric, a lot of it was pork, and we called it. We showed how the different congressional people out there were just trying to add all kinds of pork programs onto the existing stimulus package that was being proposed, and they just got away with it. It was business as usual in Washington.
Well, it was business as usual, and for the first time, I think more people, a higher percentage of Americans, understood what pork even means and how that plays itself into the political process. But it didn't work, and look, I am a supporter, but it's hard to say, that didn't work. I hope we got a better plan going forward, because stimulus didn't work.
Bailout's bad, stimulus bad, the debt's bad. I mean, these are, and gas prices, because it really, whenever you cannot get to work or go on vacation, and just something basic like that and get around, people will remember.
I know, but you know what? So we get, I mean, gas, filling up your tank is a touch point on a daily basis for many Americans, so it will impact you. The fact that we get diverted from the very important topics like the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling, which I'm not. It's very complicated, but it's also very simple. You got a credit card, and you don't have the money to pay that credit card. You don't charge on that credit card. I mean, that's what the country's doing. Otherwise, you're going to be paying very, very high interest rates, and sooner or later, you're going to run out of money, or you're going to be broke.
For you and I, it makes sense because that's how we have to live within our means and
but
balance
so
our budget.
does Washington.
That's right, exactly.
But what
Dan is pointing that out. Exactly.
I mean, look, he's in Washington. I mean, I know Dan lives there. In Washington, D.C., in that environment, in those offices, the nicest chairs, the greatest meals, the most wonderful travel, all that money pours into D.C., they don't live the way that the country lives.